It's time for the best machines of Series 2 to battle for the title of Ultimate Machine of the Series. Robot Wars, the All-Stars Championships. For the next 5 weeks, some of the top seeded machines, as well as semi-finalists from Series 2 and a couple other favorites, will be fighting it out in our special event arena in a similar format to our semi-finals. 4 heats and a grand final to discover who the top All-Star of the series is. And this is going to be very fun, I believe. So with all that out of the way, let's head down to the battle board and see how our first heat looks. Former 9th ranked Barricade up against the newcomers Chucky Hazard, who made the second round of the semi-finals. Same story with Dan Tomke, who gone up against former 6th seeds Minotaur. But first, former 5th seed Yovatono up against former champs 259. Yovatono Spinner. One of the most lethal blades of the Last Wars, and even showed it in this series by bashing Bigger Brother out of the arena before losing to them in the heat final. The front wedge is very low, so it can easily get underneath other machines to bash them with their blade. But the only real way to shut this machine down is by striking the backside, which is very exposed and vulnerable. 259 Spinner. Our now former reigning champions was quite a shocking surprise to see them crash out as early as they did. The giant blade was still able to cause problems for other machines it came up against. The weapon is extremely dangerous, but there is no self-righting mechanism on board, which causes a problem.
Roboteers, stand by.
Yovatono with the spinning blade and the wedge, and 259 with their ginormous disc, and our former reigning champions.
2, 1, activate.
Who will come out on top? Well, Yovatono already flung up and over. I didn't see that coming. And now something seems to have come from 259, and now get a good strike out of the back wheel, and off comes one. So already not going as I thought. Now it is. Up goes 259, flung through the air and landing on their side. Look at this. There, and bang, up into the air, lands on their blade as well. And I don't think they can really move from that position. They've righted themselves now. What was it? Yovatono. I almost like that man. But now Yovatono. Oh! What came off there? Something go flying. I think it was the blade of 259. It was! Look at that! Into the air. So now 259's weaponless, and they both nearly went down the pit there. Oof, that was a close one. And now Yovatono to really rip 259 apart. Part of the skirt's gone, the rear skirt's gone, some of the drive's gone. And this is all Yovatono now. If this goes to the judges, they'll mark on style, control, damage, and aggression. And it's definitely Yovatono who's on top here as they make 259 do a little double backflip there. This is a great job here. This is great work from Yovatono. And I think Yovatono would make a great reigning champion, as 259 lays burned. Well, something that a part of 259 lays burnt. There's not much drive left, and now into the pit, and that's the end for 259 in this fight. Over and out, and well done, Yovatono. They move through to the next round. Not out of the competition yet, though. 259 still has a chance in our losers melee. For now, Yovatono through. Next up, Dan Tomke and Minotaur. Dan Tomke, Flipper. A CO2-powered flipper with an adjustable ground clearance by going onto their back and adding 2 spikes to their arsenal. The armor is very tough, so getting through it is going to be a challenge, but there is a limited gas supply on board, like all flippers, and the safety link isn't exactly all that safe. Minotaur Spinner. They were extremely successful in the Last Wars, surprising they weren't able to copy that success over. The invertible design makes it so flipping it is kind of pointless, and the drum is very dangerous. But the exposed wheels can be struck by blades, which can have serious effect on the machine's drive.
Robot ears, stand by.
Dan Tomkia with the CO2-powered flipper, and Minotaur the Brazilians with the spinning drum.
3, 2, 1. Activate.
Real surprise, Minotaur didn't do as well as we thought they would. They seem to be making up for it here, and Dan Tomkia definitely in trouble. Minotaur doing very well here against Dan Tomkia. Now Dan Tomkia on their back, stuck, and Minotaur causing them major problems. But now Dan Tomkia gets the flip in, and there's fire! Minotaur's on fire! And I think Minotaur are gone! And I think there's a problem with Dan Tomkia's drive. I think that's what those small tire... it's one of the wheels is gone. Well, it's quite the shame. And poor Minotaur, they were doing so well. And Dan Tomkia probably trying to throw Minotaur out the arena. There's no point. You won't be able to. I was about to say, you definitely won't now. You're in the pit. Well, nearly, no, not enough. Well, Dan Tomkia, they may be in the pit, but they're through. Dan Tomkia, they could do pretty well in this competition. Minotaur, they're into the losers melee against 259. Next up, Barricade and Choking Hazard. Barricade. Rambot. A lot was expected from this machine in the series. Sadly, they didn't get as far as they had hoped. The tough front wedge makes it very hard to get through, as well as being extremely durable. The brute force is also extremely powerful, and shutting this machine down, in all honesty, is extremely tricky. The only way someone can is by either flipping it up and over, or by knocking out the exposed wheels. Choking Hazard. Lifter. A machine with an artwork resembling a Kinder Egg coming out of Canada. A country where Kinder Eggs aren't even allowed. I'm not even going to get into it. The main weapon is the lifter with a projectile attached. The speed is the machine's key factor, as it's extremely quick, but its speed can also be its downfall.
Robot ears, stand by.
Barricade with the ramming front, and Choking Hazard with the lifting arm and the projectile.
3, 2, 1. Activate.
Who will be tougher? Well, be interesting to see. Oh, Barricade! Well, that's the quickest fight so far in the All-Stars. I mean, it was very short, but it worked. Barricade through, I think, cheekily. But this is the losers melee. Former champs 259, Minotaur. These have actually fought before in the last wars, and the newcomers of Series 2. They're rather impressive, but sad to be here. Choking Hazard.
Robot ears, stand by.
259 with the spinning blade, Minotaur with the spinning drum, and Choking Heads with the lifting arm and the projectile.
3, 2, 1. Activate.
259 and Minotaur have fought before, and Minotaur already in the pit, and so is Choking Hazard! And Minotaur just won in 7 seconds! That's how long that lasted! Look at this! There's Minotaur down into the pit, Choking Hazard gets caught on the lip, and now they're in it! All in 7 seconds! Probably the quickest fight, one of the quickest fights in the entire series. 259 didn't really have to do anything in that. I don't know why Choking Hazard's using their weapon. You're out. 259, they're through. And it must be said, that's quite the surprise of how fast the fight was. 7 seconds! See you later, Minotaur and Choking Hazard. Better luck next time. Meanwhile, the All-Stars Championship Heat 1 Round 2. 259 taking on Barricade later, but first up, the destructive blade of Yovotono against the only new machine left in this series, Dan Tomkia.
Robot ears, stand by.
Yovotono with the spinning blade and the front wedge, Dan Tomkia with the CO2 flipper.
3, 2, 1. Activate.
I don't see much coming from Dan Tomkia, not when it does those wheelies, in all honesty. I think Yovotono will definitely have this, as it has the more damaging weapon, and it's already causing problems for Dan Tomkia. It's spinning around though, doing a little dance. Yovotono, however, getting around the side, and now pushing away at Dan Tomkia, and gets underneath them, and flings them out! And that's the end of Dan Tomkia out the arena. Look at this. There, and ping! Out they go! And that's the end of Dan Tomkia. Very quick, very efficient, and a very easy victory for Yovotono. They go through, Dan Tomkia, they go out. However, it must be said, I'm looking forward to seeing Dan Tomkia next year. Hopefully, they'll be better. Next up, Barricade and 259.
Robot ears, stand by.
Barricade with the ramming front, 259 with the giant spinning disc.
3, 2, 1. Activate.
Barricade's front should definitely help handle the blade of 259, and it has. Up and over goes 259, and a great slam there from Barricade. Look at this. There, one collision actually. That's all it took to send 259 up and over. Now, 259 up and over once again. Barricade, oh, missed that attack. And that one again. Oh! And the spike's throwing them up and over! And they're stuck against the wall! And 259 are righted! And Barricade are being counted out! Well, that's a major surprise! As 259 spins in delight as Barricade threw the whole thing! Poor Barricade! They must feel so gutted as 259 heads to the Heat Final! Poor Barricade, they look like they could have legitimately defeated 259. If not for that arena spike, they sadly crash out. And this is the Heat Final! Yovotono and 259, and they fought before in this heat earlier. Yovotono came out on top. How will this turn around? Yovotono with the spinning blade and wedge, 259 with the spinning disc. We saw them before in the first fight. Off went 259's blade as Yovotono kept pressurizing them, causing major damage to 259. And there wasn't much else 259 could really do. Yovotono pretty much had them the double backflip before eventually crippling 259 and throwing them down to the pit of oblivion. And that was how Yovotono moved through to the next round, where they fought Dan Tomkia, who spun around. Dan Tomkia couldn't do much, and then Yovotono, one whack over the wall, and that was the end of them. Now look at this. Quickly into the pit went both Minotaur and Choking Hazard in the loser's melee. That's how 259 got through to the second round to fight Barricade. One collision sent them up and over, and I thought Barricade were going to win, but the spike on the arena floor flung them onto the wall, and 259 managed to right themselves. Barricade were out.
Robot ears, stand by.
Who will come out on top now, Yovotono or 259?
3, 2, 1. Activate.
Has 259 learnt from their earlier encounter with Yovotono? That's what I'm wondering, and I'm not overly sure if they have, because I think it's starting to go the same way it did before, and Yovotono bashing into 259 and causing them major problems. And don't rear attack them. That's an actual wheel, I think, on the ground there from 259, or it's something off 259. That's the rear skirt of 259 you could see, which Giovatono can't seem to get off. They are now, and now on the attack, and flinging 259 into the air. And playing around the flames, I don't think that'll affect either one of them, really. Off comes another skirt, and I think that was something important that came off there. Look at this. There goes 259 over the top of Giovatono as that not only rips off one of the skirts, but I think one of the drive motors. As 259 just drives straight into the wall. You can also see there, a wheel's gone. Giovatono overturned by the arena spike, self-right. 259, I'm pretty sure, are immobilized. Off comes the blade again! And blattered up and over. Look at this. Off it comes. Oh, poor 259. They're also flung by the blade of Giovatono. And I don't think there's anything else 259 can really do at this point. Off comes another wheel. I think that's the final wheel as well. There's no movement left in 259. And now 259 flung up into the air and out the arena. And it's Giovatono, the first machine into the All-Stars Grand Final. Commiserations to our fallen reigning champions. They managed to get their shot at revenge, but ultimately it was to no avail as Giovatono trouncers them once again even more brutally and takes the first spot in the All-Stars Grand Finals. Take care everyone, and I'll see you next time. Farewell.